In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the Twisting Hearts pop-up card, and this is what the card looks like. And there's a couple different variations. This one has a variation of a couple kissing. So I'm going to show you how to make both versions. So the first thing to do is to go to my website, and the templates for this card are available on my website. So there are 3 pages. There's the inside page. This is the inside of the card. There's also the outside backing, and then here is some clip art, some other parts that you could cut out to embellish your card. So the first thing I want to point out is on this template, this is the inside card. There's a lot of areas where you need to score or fold. So all of these folds are valley folds, okay, except for these 2 folds down the center here. These 2 folds are actually mountain folds, and I'll show you that in a second of how to fold this together. So let's go ahead and start. Now I've already cut out the parts, and I'm not going to waste your time showing you cutting all these parts out, but this is what it looks like. And I used a cutting machine, so this is the backing. And here's the inside. Cut all the parts out, and then I also have some of the clip art, different parts that I've cut out, but we'll use these later. Okay, so the first thing to do is on the inside card, let's fold this. So after you cut them out, make sure that the 4 hearts are fully cut, so you can see that they're loose. And also notice here that the heart is curved on one side. Okay, so you want to make sure that this is free. These corners are free. These curved corners on the bottom are free, and they're only attached by this section here. So that's going to help the twisting mechanism. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. So let's do a valley fold on these 4 sides. Okay. Okay, and then let's go ahead and do a mountain fold on the center line. Okay, as you can see, if you do a mountain fold, the hearts will rotate. So it's okay to fold the outsides as well, because the softer these creases, these scores are, the easier the card will be to open. So, okay, I'm going to do the mountain folds, and then now let's do the valley folds on these diagonals. This is a little bit tricky, and you don't want to fold the heart. So just crease that on a diagonal, crease that on a diagonal. Same thing here. Crease that on a diagonal, and crease that on a diagonal. So if you're doing this by hand, when you cut out this template, where you want to score, so you want to take your knife. If you're scoring with a knife, then on all of the mountain folds, you're going to score on the front. And I've written some notes on the PDF files where it says score bottom or score top. So these 2 lines, you're going to score on top. So after you attach the template to your cardstock, you want to score, as in cut very lightly through these 2 areas first, and then cut the rest of the card out, then flip it over on the back side of your cardstock. That's where you score the crosses and these 4 lines. Okay, let's get back to the card. Okay, so now we've creased it. Let's go ahead, and now when you fold it, you can see these hearts moving toward each other, and this is because of that mountain fold in the center. Okay, so this is how it folds, and that's pretty much the hardest part of this card. So okay, so now your hearts fold inwards like this, and they're twisting together. Now let's glue these hearts together. So I'm using a glue stick. You can use Elmer's glue. The glue stick is a little bit more forgiving, but it's not as strong. So You could use Elmer's glue if you want to make sure that the hearts are attached very securely. So after you apply the glue, align up the hearts together. Press the tops. You're going to glue the tops together like this, and then before the glue dries, close the card to make sure that you align it correctly. If you didn't align it correctly, then it won't fold flat. Okay, so I've glued those tips, and now you have one side done. Let's glue the other side. Just the tops. Like that. Okay, again, fold it before it dries. Okay, now we're almost done. Let's pull out the backing. Now the backing of the card has these two clasps, but also make sure that all of these hearts in the corners are cut out, including this top part. There's two cuts. Make sure that those cuts are cut very cleanly, otherwise it would be very difficult to put the card through. Okay, so check those. And then the next thing to do is, the way I have my cards set up is that they twist from the bottom up. Okay, and this is depending on the orientation you want. So if you look at the way these hearts twist, they fold downwards like this. So if you want the card to fold downwards, position it this way, and then make sure that your heart is upwards. Your heart clasp is upward like this. Okay, so now let's go ahead and assemble this card. Actually, before you assemble it, let's fold these two flaps. Okay, now you really want these flaps to be very soft. Now, if the creases are very stiff, your card's not going to open all the way. So let's fold these creases back and forth. Again, you're going to be scoring on the back side, so just fold these back and forth until they're pretty soft. So the fold should be nice and floppy. Okay, now let's go ahead and assemble this again. Okay, so the base of your card is pretty much finished. Now what you also might want to do is glue the inside card down. Now the way I've designed this is these two outside flaps slide a little bit so it folds flat. So what you want to do is glue the inside, and this, it doesn't need to be very strong glue. I'm going to use a glue stick again. Help if I open it. I'm going to put a little bit of glue down the center. Okay, and then I'm going to assemble the card and very quickly, before the glue dries, I'm going to close the card. Make sure it folds flat. Okay, and press that down. Okay. Okay, so now the card is essentially finished, and then all you need to do is add on a few of the embellishments. So depending on what you want to do, the easiest thing to do is to glue these I Love You clip arts. So you could attach these here and here. What you want to do is, when the card is open, then you attach these here in a way that it aligns together. Like so. Okay, and then, but if you want, you could also add some letters, and this came in the template also. I have quite a few letters here you could choose from. You could add these letters here. Or you could also add, instead of the I love you, you could use these parts. These guys are a little bit trickier. I'm going to show you in a second. So I use a glue stick so I could take this off. It's actually, if you want to be careful, use tape first. Make sure everything aligns correctly when you close the card, and then use something like Elmer's glue, which is very strong. The glue stick is good for temporary attachments. It might not be strong enough. And then let's go ahead and attach these guys. So this is a little bit trickier. What you want to do is, again, this I would definitely recommend using tape to align it. Aligning is a little bit tricky. So I'm going to stick the girl's leg between the hearts, and then her arm on the outside, like that. Okay, so you'll want to position this the way you want this to open. Make sure it lies flat. I'm going to use a glue stick. Again, you could use you could use Elmer's glue to be a little bit stronger. So I'm going to glue her stomach, attach it like so. Okay, and before it dries, you want to work relatively quickly. Do the same thing with boy. Slip his leg inside the heart and the arm outside. Okay, so before the glue dries, you want to align their faces so that they look like they're gonna kiss. So you'd also hold their faces together and then push down on your glue. There. So that's how I'm going to align the two people kissing. And then I'll also put this clip art on the inside. You could also write some text in here. If you want, this page also has Happy Valentine's Day and a couple of different variations of I love you. You could also put in there. Okay, so now the card is almost done. What's tricky is closing this. With the people, it's a little bit trickier. If you just use the letters, it's a lot easier. When you close it, usually I close the boy first and then push him downwards, like so. And then the girl, push her downward as well, because she's going to twist closed. And make sure that they're inside the card. Okay. And then use the clasps to close the card. And then you want to finish up by putting some hearts on the outside, like so. Here are the hearts that I've cut out already. And this you could use a glue stick, or you could use any other glue that's doesn't have to be too strong. I'm going to position these 4 red hearts. And these hearts came out from the center of this inside card, inside heart. And then my final touch is the white hearts. And your card is finished. Well, one more thing I want to add is his foot is can easily get caught on this heart. So the way to fix this is you want to add a little bit of glue to the inside to make sure that this edge is glued shut. Glue him back on. Again, I would use an Elmer's glue, but for this tutorial I'm going to just use a glue stick. There. Okay, so again, push him down first, and then her. Close the card, like so. And there you have the Twisting Hearts pop-up card. Thank you for watching CreativePopUpCards.com.